Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my podcast. Tonight, I'm drinking the same wine that I had in last week's episode. It's really good. I ended up going and buying it again. Great day. Love it. Today, I wanted to talk about breakups. I've talked about friendship breakups in a past episode, grieving my ex best friend because she's dead to me. And that episode is actually my most streamed episode. So I know that it did well. And I definitely want to do a part two on that. So that'll be coming soon about friendship breakups. I keep a really small circle of people that I trust. I think that the most independent, strong, confident, and self loved and self secure people have a small circle because they don't need validation from others. Um, they will protect their peace at all costs. And those are things that I do. I will protect my peace at all costs. Is the second I don't see your friendship adding value to my life, it's like goodbye. I'm good. So, anyways, my three bestest friends of all time have been in my life forever, starting at fourth grade. And around that time, they have seen me gone through my weirdest, most awkward stages of life. And like we've just grown up together and we've stayed friends this whole time, best friends. And I haven't been through a breakup in like 5 or 6 years, and it it hurt so bad that I just swore off men for the time being. So I know what it's like to go through a gnarly fucking breakup because I've been through them. It's just been a while because it took me a long time to recover from the last one. So I will say that I'm educated enough to talk about this subject. I know it's been a while, but I've helped my friends get through it, and we have kind of a 10-step guide, and I thought that I would share it with you guys because it's kind of not as traditional of a 10-step guide that you might hear on other podcasts, or if you read them, or if you Google, how to get over a breakup. It's definitely not traditional. It's definitely not 100% healthy. But you know what? It works. It's gotten myself through some really dark times and my best friends through some really tough times as well. So I thought that I would share the love and give you my 10-step guidelines, but I would like to preface that this is not, um, this could be argued against very heavily, which is super fair. But if you, if you have no other options and you're feeling like you hit rock bottom, fuck it, just try this. Okay. So for starters, I would say that there's like 7 steps in the grieving process once you go through a breakup. The first one, even if you got broken up with, or if you broke up with him, or if it was mutual because you guys are going to college, like whatever that looks like, no matter what, even if you broke up with him, you're going to go through the shock and denial phase. You are going to think it's a great idea to break up with him. And then it happens, and you're still going to be shocked because for the past however long you've been with him, you have lived your life with him in it. And so you're going to have to relearn how to be alone. And this is something that will hit you as a shock, even if you were prepared for the breakup. Now, if you get broken up with, this really comes in hot and heavy with the shock and denial, where it's like you kind of go on with life and pretend like it didn't happen and kind of feel numb to it. Like you haven't really cried yet. Like it's kind of just like, wait, what? Like, did that actually just happen? Number two, pain and grief. This one is going to be like the week of you dying, like just crying, crying your eyes out, thinking the world's going to end. The stage is just brutal. What I've noticed I usually do is add another step in, and I hit shock and denial again after the pain and grief because it hurts so bad that I just forget it happened. And I'm like, and I avoid it and I keep busy and I do this and I do that and I don't think about it so that like I can live and I can survive. It's survival mode. This next stage is where I usually get stuck. Anger. Yeah, anger and resentment for either yourself. Maybe you feel like you regret something or you did something wrong for it to end the way it did, or maybe you feel like you shouldn't have broken up with him. Number four, depression and reflection. This one is like when you feel like, okay, it's been like some time now, I should be like feeling better, right? No, no. This is a whole nother stage of crying and depression, feeling unmotivated, and it sucks. Stage is my favorite. It's locking the fuck back in. Um, give yourself some time to cry. Get the fuck up. Let's go out. Let's be social again, even if you're faking it and you absolutely don't want to get out of bed because you're so depressed, do it. And number 7 is like you'll be a new person. You'll feel like a new person. You're going to have grown so much. You're going to hopefully be moving on, and that's hopefully the last stage of a breakup. All right. Now, my personal recipe to healing from a breakup. This, again, I would like to preface, has not been studied by psychologists, but it worked for me. It worked for my friends. So just stick it out with me. Number 1, this is traditional. No contact. I need you to mute his story. Hide your story. You can still post because like I post a lot on social media for sure. And it's really not for anybody. It's like my diary. Like I enjoy posting on social media. Give yourself grace and like still allowing yourself to post, but you want him to think that you disappeared. You're going to mute his story so that you don't see his story. You're going to hide your story from him seeing it, and you're going to hide your post. I think there's a way to do that. I'm not sure, but my posts are usually on my stories. So as much as you want him to see that super hot picture of you in a bikini that you took to post as like a revenge breakup thing, it is so clear. It is so clear what you're doing. Like I've literally seen somebody post and I'm like, damn, like did they break up? Because like it's like a thirst trap. Like it's very clear with the intentions, and like being a girl who's done that before, like just spare yourself. Like it's very obvious what you're trying to do. And it's kind of embarrassing. Number 2, I kind of touched base on this, cry. Literally cry your face off. This is tough, brutal. You're gonna run out of tears and you're just gonna have this ugly fucking face planted on because you're not gonna have tears. It's not gonna look like you're crying, but like you're gonna be crying. But you're gonna run out because it sucks. It sucks. You have to process everything. You don't know how to process everything, and it's emotionally draining, and you're gonna cry your eyes out. You're gonna be so emotional. And you're also gonna be a bitch. And that leads me to number 4. Most of the time when we're going through a breakup, because we're so depressed, we lash out at the people that are closest to us and love us and want to help us. And it's really sad, actually. Like, I remember going through a breakup and my mom would be like, oh, honey, do you want to do this? And I'd just be like a total bitch and be like, no, like, don't talk to me, like, whatever. And that's just because, like, I was taking out my sadness and like hurt on the people that were close to me. And so instead of doing this, and be aware that you're going to do this. First of all, maybe communicate. I'm sorry if I'm a bitch for the next however long. I'm really struggling with this. But I would say that this stage is really important when you have that anger like stage that you're going through to utilize your friends. This is when you do the stupid shit. You like scream, you cry, you rant. Your friends should be able to sit with you and have you repeat the same thing over and over and over again every day, and they sit and listen and agree with you. I've been on the receiving end of it where it's like they won't shut the fuck up about their ex, but it's like you were there for me when I wouldn't shut the fuck up about mine. So I got you. It's like until you're over it, let's talk about it because then I'm not over it either. So really surround yourself with people who care about you. Scream, cry, really lean on them, and don't feel like a burden when you do it. Make sure you have those people, whether it's like your mom or your dog, like have a dance party. My favorite breakup song in the entire world, I don't even think it's a breakup song, but Chiquitita from Mamma Mia or ABBA, best breakup song in the fucking world. I blasted it like 3 times today. I'm not going through anything, but it felt good. It was sunny out and it felt right. And I miss my friends. Next, solo revenge. This is where I said we need to like realize and come to terms with after we get broken up with or we're going through a breakup, we're going to have an insane phase. We're going to be insane. We're going to go out. We're going to make out with random people. We're going to like make fools of ourselves. And that's okay. The sooner you realize that this is just a canon event of a breakup, the sooner you can just like be insane. Like, what do you have to worry about? I'm sorry. Like I've learned that I am kind of crazy. And instead of like pretending to be like not crazy, and like biting my tongue around men because it's like, well, I don't really want them to have the power of like using this against me, saying like, oh, well, she's crazy, like blah, blah. I don't care if you think that or if you share that with other people. I don't care. If being crazy is actually helping me get over you, so fucking be it. So, quick story time. My boyfriend from high school, we had the nastiest breakup of all time. He wrote a diss track about me, played it every time I walked into a party in high school. Um, and so it was like my own walk-in song. My friends recorded the song and then we sat with voice memos open and would transcribe it so that we learn every single lyric so that when me and my three friends would walk into a party with me, we'd all be like bumping the words to the song so that it wasn't like as terrible and awful for me. And anyways, I was out one night and like I obviously we hadn't been together and this was a mistake on my part, but like we did hook up one night. Anyways, I was out and he was there and his friend kissed me and I was like, ew, like get off me. But he saw and like looked like he wanted to kill me. And I was like, okay, sorry. That's like I'm crazy. Anyway, so the next time I saw him, like I it was very like I'm always just like cordial, like, oh hey, like good to see you, like move on. He wouldn't even look at me. He looks at me. Actually, hold on. He looks at me and then looks away back to his conversation. And I'm like, "Are you I'm drunk, okay? I'm drunk. I'm looking for a fight because I'm again crazy and pissed the fuck off. He's trying to make me feel bad about something that he shouldn't be mad at me about. He should be mad at his friend about because he has no more ties with me. He has ties with his best friend who kissed me, and he should be mad at him, not me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've got no loyalties to him anymore. We weren't together. Anyways, I blew the fuck up um, in front of the entire bar and basically my hometown. It was my friends had to grab me and like literally carry me away while I was kicking and screaming at him, and it felt great. It was amazing. I got it out, and I was good. So as crazy as I looked and probably was in that situation, it was part of the process. It helped me move on and be completely done and just not give a fuck. It was a little relapse that I had where I hooked up with him after we'd broken up, and it was like a quick snap back into it, like, okay, no, ew. So yeah, embrace you're gonna probably get way too drunk one night when you have like a girls' night because it's like, woo, like I'm newly single, let's go out, and then you drink too much, and then you're like probably be crying at the club, um, because you miss him or you're going to try and call him. Like it's all just part of the process. So just embrace it. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you can get out of your system and like get the embarrassment out of yourself. All right. Next step is locking back in. This is when we do our health journey. This is when we start working out, eating healthy, find a new hobby, start trying Pilates or something. Do things for you. And this goes into the next step of being alone. Learn how to be alone again because however long you're with this guy, you learn to live your life with him in it. You have to learn and get comfortable again with being by yourself. In this part of my 10-step program, I think this is a time where a lot of people might actually jump back into a relationship. And I call those serial daters, where it's like, okay, they're like kind of out of it, and then as soon as like they're alone and they're over the guy, like they get with somebody else and they start dating somebody else. I guess that's okay if that works for you. It's never worked for me, especially with like serious relationships. Like I serial like casual date. But like I could never do back to back like a serious relationship. Those people scare the shit out of me, I'm not going to lie. But this is when you lock back in and you need to learn how to be by yourself. You need to go like tonight I went to the wine bar by myself because I don't have any friends in the area and I wanted to like it was so sunny out today and I wanted to go out. Go take yourself out for a drink or like for dinner. Like learn how to do things by yourself and don't be dependent on someone texting you good morning, good night. How are you? Like let's talk later. You need to spend a lot of time with yourself. Date yourself again. Learn to love yourself again so that when you do meet the next right person, you're the best version of yourself for them and you're fully healed. Number 8 kind of circles back where you might relapse. This is the relapse stage where you might think you're doing great because you've been on your health journey, you've been doing this, you've been doing that, like you're feeling great about yourself. You're like, who needs him? Um, yeah, you might relapse. You might be thinking you're doing okay, and then you like see him out with another girl, and then you might have the most crazy crash out of all time. Been there, and then it feels like you start from square one. The important thing is, even if you do start from square one, it'll be a quicker process. Go through the steps again, start over if you need. You might have another, like, you might have to normalize having crazy rebounds and unhealthy coping mechanisms again. You might hook up with somebody because you think, like, oh, this will make me feel better. And then you're like, ew, like that was gross. Like that was just total rebound behavior. Oh, number 9. This one's kind of fun. It's resetting your own personal goals. When you're with somebody, you kind of plan your life with them, especially like when we're in our 20s. It's kind of like when you're with somebody, you're thinking about jobs, and it's like, okay, well, if I go here, if I want to move to San Diego, if I want to move to New York, like I can't really go to New York because you're going to be living in San Diego. So maybe I'll move to San Diego too. So now that you're alone and you're learning again to be by yourself, now is a good time to reset your goals and really figure out what you want to do with your life. Maybe you thought about going to a college with this boy, or you thought about going to this school because a boy said that he liked it. And then you're like, wait, do I actually really want to go all the way to Wisconsin for college? Hmm. I don't really know if that's my goal or if that was really his goal that subconsciously like rubbed off on me. This is a good time to kind of reflect and think about what you want to do. Maybe you didn't realize this, but maybe you want to move to Hawaii for a year. You could do that now because you're single and you have no ties with anyone anywhere now. Like you could do whatever the fuck you want. Like you are free. Number 10 is trying again. Get back out there, throw in some cute hoops, go out, flirt with guys for fun, um, get people's phone numbers, go on awkward first dates. Maybe you'll find a really nice guy from one of them. And hopefully by this time, you're fully healed from the breakup. There's a song that was like my anthem when I was going through my breakups, and it's called 10 Steps to Get Over Your Ex. And the last one is step 10. Oh, it's Don't Fuck Him. That's the 10th step of the song. We've already gone through my 10 steps, but this is another good note that song made me think of don't fuck him. Don't, it says it in the song, don't let him have you that way again. You are single. He's not yours. You are not his. So remember, you are not his. There's going to be hiccups. Like I said, like my ex-boyfriend tried to make me feel bad about like my moving on process where it's like, well, what are you doing? Like you've changed. My first boyfriend was shit show. I think I trauma blocked that out. That breakup was tough. And I will never forget, he said to me after we'd been broken up, he was like, you've really changed. And I was like so hurt by that because I was like, it just got in my head because I was doing all these things for his attention, for my like revenge posts and all this stuff. And it was just things that I would never do. Like he was right. I did change. I will say I changed for the better and I was a new person at the end of it. So fuck you for saying that. But you can't let that thing, like you can't let them get in your head anymore because you are on your own now. You might have always valued what they thought of you, but you kind of have to separate that now and realize I can't value what he thinks of me anymore. Like I'm on my own. His opinion can't matter anymore because he's not in my life. Anyways, hopefully that 10 step doesn't sound like insane because I know it kind of is. I'm aware. But again, I've been through it. It's worked for me. Maybe I have better stories from it because I have some crazy, absurd stories that did stem from heartbreak. And I think that's a good thing. I don't know. I think it's added character to my life and made me who I am today. So I don't regret anything from it. So if all the other therapists are giving you different recipes to a breakup and rule book and it's not working, maybe try this way because again, probably not healthy. And definitely not backed by psychology, but it worked for me. So I thought I'd share. If you're going through a breakup, I love you. I'm sorry. It's going to get better. I promise you it always does. And lastly, time fucking heals. I promise. I stand by that. It might be a year, it might be more than that, but just stick it out because life gets so much better. So cheers. Bye.